Shalom, shalom. Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Right, the brothers and also elders and apostles of great and soon, and shalom to all you brothers on four corners of the earth that teaching this good gospel in all sincerity and in all truth. Shalom. This is brother Hiram. We are here back with another video. Alright, and this video will be on Job, chapter 1 of verse 1. We're going to book of Job. The whole chapter, right? Hopefully that be edifying, right? Asha Shabbat as well, right? So we'll start off Job 1 and 1, and I have the GNT at the side, and I have the NLT as well, right? Both translation, right? GNT and the NLT, right? So Job 1 and 1, it says, there was a man in the land of Uz, right, whose name was Job, right? That land, the land of Uz, that is like around close to Edom. Right, if I could right, the land of Uz, right, and that was land of Uz, right? Uz, right? Land of Uz was right. It had the land of Uz, Egypt, over so land of Uz next to Midian and Timan, Eliphaz, Edom, right? So the land of Uz is close to Edom, right? Close to Edom, right? So let's go back, right? Close to Edom, right? So right, continue. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, right? And that man was perfect and upright and one that feared Yahweh, and it eschewed evil. And I'll pull up the blue letter to go into the word eschewed, right? We're in Job. Into the word eschewed, right? The one it says eschewed. Right. So the word eschewed means eschewed, right? It means to turn aside, depart, right? Turn aside, turn in onto, to depart from way, avoid, to be removed, right? So Job was a man who was upright, as I said, right? He was perfect and upright, one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil. So he don't want no part to do with evil, right? Because it says to avoid, so he was avoiding evil, right? So we don't go into that already. Right? Every GNT says there was a man, Job, living in the land of Uz, who worshipped Yahweh and was faithful to him, and he was a good man, careful not to do anything evil. So Job wasn't doing anything evil. Right? Verse 2, KJV. And there was born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was great of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone on his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. Right? And yeah, I'll continue. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job, right, said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. So Job continually sent, right, and sanctified right, to burn offerings for them for the sins I was doing, right? Because so like um in GNT, we're reading GNT, right? In GNT says verse 2, and he had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 1,000 head of cattle, and 500 donkeys. He also had a large number of servants and was the richest man in the east. So he was the richest man in in the east, right? Lord blessed him, because if Job was an upright man, and one that eschewed evil, he wasn't doing any evil and was upright and faithful to the Lord, the Lord would bless him, right? So repart. Right, verse 4. Job's sons used to take turns giving a feast to which all the others would come, and they also invited their 3 sisters to join them. Right? Because in the KJV, that's somewhere anyway. I don't check it. Same thing in the NLT, but in the KJV, it says, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone on his day. On his day is like, that could be, the birthday, on his day, right? Because people in the world know, them will, as they see them, well, yeah, it had to be the birthday, because as people in the world, they see them, when it's their birthday, right? They celebrate the birthday, the day that they was born, however long years ago, right? And they celebrate that, right? And in Job 3, but we will reach that eventually, because I plan to do, I'm watching videos from a Matt, right? As my elder, right? Because he's a bigger brother to me, right? And I suggest you watch, because that is the Matt does very up our videos. We have we have lots of breakdown. You think it might need and stuff, and he did the full book of he did the full book of Job. So I was watching it, and I'm doing it over, right? So so what I have was shine God please put upon the brother to bring forth the lesson and fire, and others could be edified, and we could be edified, I could be edified, right? So anyways, let me continue. So as I say, people does feast on not feast, but people does celebrate the birthdays in this time. A lot of people want to celebrate the birthday in this time. God does, bring no judgment upon them on the same day, on the birthday. A lot of people, get it like that, you know. So the as the part in 5 says, right? For Job said it may be, right, that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their heart because of celebrating birthdays. Thus did Job continue. So Job was continually offering sacrifices for them, because they were celebrating the birthday and these different stuff. So Job will go and do, and sacrifice burnt offerings for them, right, for the sins which they have done, right? So right now we done that part, right? So verse 6 in the KJV, it says, and there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah, and Satan came also among them, right? And sons of God there, right, the angels, right? And Satan came also, because he's an angel, right? That these Christians and them, they say he does be underneath the earth with his angels, and he was cast out of heaven. Things like Revelation. But anyways, that would have said he was cast out of heaven in the story back in Revelation. And, he and his angels was cast down, into hell, in the bottom of the earth, where it burning with fire, and that would the people gonna go that don't worship the Lord and these different things. But them things last week have no hell. Hell is just the she-hole, the grave, right? But Satan is an angel as well, because he came as well with the sons of God, which is the angels. So he's an angel, right? And these people doesn't make it feel like Satan do. he don't do the Lord's will, but Satan does the Lord's will, right? Because he comes to present himself before the Lord. So, and he does the Lord's will because when you go down, when we reach down, right, it's the Lord who gave him the advance to go and try Job and everything. He couldn't just go and try Job just to, right? So Satan is an angel as well. These people try to make it look like Satan is a bad guy or anything like that. But Satan is not a bad guy. Satan just doing his job, right? That's all. But when you read verse 7, it says, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered, The Lord Yahweh Shemeshan said, From going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it." In the GNT it says, the Lord asked him, "What have you been doing?" Right? Satan answered, "I have been walking here and there and roaming around the earth." And that was Satan does roam around the earth and going people's head and people does do things. Right? Go and try people in the head, plague people. And Satan does plague all of us. We striving to be a part of God's elect. So Satan will come and try us. These demons and Satan. Right? Because they don't try other people and going in other people. Not literally going in and controlling them like that. Right? But he was in their head and making them do things. Right? Bring judgment upon people as well. Right? Which is ultimately, the Lord. Right? Because the Lord who is the one who control everyone. Because as the scripture says, man's going out the Lord, how can a man then understand his way? Right? So the Lord is in control. No man has no free will. Like Satan has free will. But Satan had come to present himself before the Lord. And Satan still had to, the way he talked to the Lord is like, he put it in a sense that, Lord, I want to try him. And he didn't directly say that, but he said Lord, if you take me. Anyway, go reach it. Alright? Go reach it. Verse 8. "And the Lord said unto Satan, right? Hast thou considered my servant Job, and there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth Yahweh and escheweth evil." In the GNT, it says, "Did you notice my servant Job?" Because remember, Satan does go around and try people on these different things. Right? So now the Lord saying, hey, I know you're trying, you'll be trying everybody else. So now the Lord saying, did you notice my servant Job? Right? Did you notice my servant Job? The Lord asked. There is none, so that there is no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil. Right? So now this is the point where, and here it says, let me continue. Then Satan, verse 9, then Satan answered the Lord and said, "Do it, Job, fear Yahweh for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face." Right? And now here it says, I'm going to read out the last verse. "And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, right, all that he actually, let me read down that part, right? So in GNT now, it says, verse 9, "Satan replied, Would Job worship you if he got nothing out of it? You always have protected him and his family, everything he owns. You bless everything he does, and you give him enough cattle to fill the whole country. But now you're supposed to take away everything he has, and he will curse you to your face." So that was Satan saying to you, Lord, no. Your Lord, you bless him with everything. You're protecting him, you're protecting his family, right? You bless him with cattle and these different things. So of course he would, serve you and fear you because you gave him everything. Right? So he would, serve you and fear you and don't do evil. Right? Because he know if you do evil, all these things, would be, get taken. You don't take it from him. So he feared the Lord. And just do right. Just keep on doing righteousness. Right? Fear the Lord. Right? So now, verse 12 in the KJV, "And the Lord said," so that was Satan said, "No, Lord, if you take away everything, I sure he'll curse you to your face." I was Satan said to the Lord here now. And here the Lord said, And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in the power, is in thy power, only upon him shall put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And then in KJV it says, right, alright. The Lord said to Satan, everything he has is in your power. So the Lord gives Satan the advance now. Alright, Satan, everything that Job has, everything that he owns, his family, everything cattle, that is in your power. Just and here he says in the last part, right? But you must not hurt Job himself. So Satan left. So Satan done, he don't get the advance. So Satan left. He went to try Job now, because any KJV here, right? After because there's Satan's request. And now verse 12, and then the heading, right, for here is Job's affliction, starting at 13. The heading for verse 13 is Job's affliction. Now we're going into his afflictions, right, when Satan started to try him. So the way Satan comes like a smart man. Lord, you give me everything. He had to take away everything from me, and then he go curse you to your face. He didn't literally like ask you, Lord, I could go and try this on Job. But how he says, in a sense, and God gave him the advance. He still had to, request, as it says Satan's request. So he still had to ask the Lord in a different sense that I could go and try to serve on Job. Right? So, now, verse 13. And here then for verse 13, as I said, is Job's affliction. Right? For verse 13 is Job's affliction. Right? And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding besides them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only escaped to tell thee. So now we're going into when Satan's had to take away the things that Job owned. Right? Verse 13 GNT says, one day when Job's children were having a feast at the home of their eldest brother, a messenger came running to Job. We were plowing the fields with the oxen, and he said, and the donkeys were in a nearby pasture. Suddenly the Sabaeans attacked and stole them all. So now Satan's had to possess, as it says, the Sabaeans, right? To come and go in them head, and now to come and, as it says, attack and steal them away. Right? They killed every one of your servants. Remember it says Job had a lot of servants, right? Had a lot of servants. Not a God. Right? The Sabaeans killed all of them. Killed every one of your servants except me. So he's the only one that gets spared to come and tell Job this. Right? That happened. Right? And it says, I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Right? Verse 16 KJV. While he was yet speaking, there came on also another and said, the fire of Yahweh is fallen from heaven and had burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Right? While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans, right, made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while, another one, right, while, verse 18, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So Daisy part when Job said again, all them, because remember, look how much, right? Look how much, come on, tell me, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only ones who escaped to come and tell him this. So 5, he don't get We 5 things that happen already. And that's a lot already. So Job didn't even get time to, soak in the first one that happened. He said on the first one, and the second one come and tell him, still on the first one, third one come, still on the first one, fourth one come. Now on the second one, the fifth one come. And Job just had to soak in all of this, and all of them just come one by one. Then when he started to get tried, right? And I'll read all of that in the GNT now, from verse 16. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, lightning struck the sheep and the shepherds and killed them. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, 3 bands of the Chaldeans, raiders, attacked us, took away the camels and killed your servants. Except me, I'm the only one who escaped alone. So that I'm the only one who escaped to tell you. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, your children were having a feast at the home of your eldest son. When the storm swept in from the desert, it blew the house down and killed them all. I'm the only one who escaped to tell you. So, the servants, all the camels, the donkeys, the asses, the oxen, all that he owned, right? And his children, everything get stolen, taken away, and died. So Job started really catching, Job started catch hell here now, right? Started go through it now. Verse 20 in the KJV. Then Job arose and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away Blessed be the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai. In all this Job sinned not, nor changed Yahweh, nor select, nor charged Yahweh foolishly. So in all that Job now went through, he still didn't curse the Lord. Charge the Lord foolishly, as it said. So now let me read that in GNT. This is what we do here now. In GNT says, verse 20. Then Job got up and tore his clothes in grief, and shaved his head, and threw himself faceward to downward on the ground. And he said, I was born with nothing, and I will die with nothing. The Lord gave, and now he has taken away. May his name be praised. So Job was going through all of that. Noah went through all of that. And going down on the ground, shave his head, rip his clothes, and kneel down to the ground. That says, naked came I out of the womb, naked shall I, and he said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord does give, and the Lord does take away. Right? And we say in the end, may his name be praised. And we said, blessed be the name of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yeshai. So in all this, Job still praise the Lord and bless the name of the Lord. And I just share, because some other people, if them was in that situation, them would have cursed the Lord and just died. Them would have cursed the Lord. But Job, days are different when we talking about it. And verse 22 says, in all this Job sinned. So that in GNT 22 it says, in spite of everything that had happened, Job did not sin by blaming Yahweh. So that Job did, he didn't even sin. And that's just one. We still have more to go through. Right? So hopefully chapter 1 was edified, Job 1 and 1. Still have Job chapter 1. Whole chapter was edified, the Lord's elect, giving all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makakdash. Right? Double honor to our elders and apostles of greatness, soon and Shalom to the Lord's elect. Shalom Labakariam, and Tetis wickedly, Shalom to the Lord's elect. Right? And I know as always see brother stay strong. Right? 1 Corinthians 15:58, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, because your labor is not in vain. Keep pushing the word of the Lord, hold the faith, and you're almost out. Right? Shalom, brother. Shalom. Stay strong.